What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Inside 11 back at you again with some insight to change the alchemy of the mind. Real fucking shit. And we're gonna dive right into it, man. Why a religious point of view is demonic, or just why having a worldview in general is demonic, right? Because once you understand what these Masons and what these Jews are doing, aka the rulers of the world, you understand that they all create brands that cater to people's chakras, aka whatever chakra you're flunked out and lost in. They create an exoteric form that's really based on them understanding the natures what the mind is in, based on understanding the psyche, the human condition. So if someone, let's say, is lost in their throat chakra and they like to talk a lot, they might create a fucking denomination for that. Let's say someone is lost in being a narcissist, being egotistical and overpowering other people, they might create a denomination for that where you can play out. But either way, you're gonna get your energy harnessed for someone else's concept, and you're gonna charge someone else's matrix, and you're really just gonna die being an unbalanced motherfucker while really you're supposed to be balanced and equalized. Real fucking shit. But yeah, worldviews and religions separate man and women's perspective about the holistic nature of reality and God, causing division and conflict based on an illusion of separation. So we all look at each other like we're separate, right? We got the white people, the black people, the brown people, we got the Mexicans, we got everybody in this motherfucker, right? But we all view each other as separate. While we look separate, we're mentally separate, we're all still a part of the same world. Because we think that 180-degree opposites is it means oh opposites, but it really just mean like what's it called? It really is actually just unity. It's really just balance, understanding the other side or other perspective of something, aka the other side of the coin. So if you have Aries having your own individual idea, you also got to understand Libra, how to relate it to other people. So you can have all the individual ideas you want, but if you don't understand how to relate that idea to people outside of you, then you're not going to be able to market that idea, or that idea is not going to go as far as you can, as far as the air. Because if you want to get, let's say you're a rapper or whatever you do, if you don't communicate about that idea, if you don't relate to people to get that idea out, whatever that idea is, you might have a music cover you want to make, or you might have whatever it is you want to do. You got to be able to relate that in some kind of way. You got to be able to use communication technology and stuff like that for you to spread your idea for people to even know about you. And sometimes that might come in the form of like physical people and shit like that. So 180-degree, it's just like understanding the opposite side of something and creating balance and shit like that. If you're a Pisces like me, for example, and you got so many imaginations, illusions, and delusions, like fantasies and stuff like that, you also got to understand Virgo. You understand how to put that shit on a schedule and routine, how to be realistic so you don't get lost in a delusion. So all these things have a purpose because that's the holistic nature of reality, right? We just get lost in the illusion of separation. So we're like, oh, I'm a Pisces. Yeah, let me hang out with other Pisces. We're like, oh, I'm a Gemini. I'm only gonna hang out with other Geminis because we're the best. Now you're flunked. You're flunked. You're like one periodic table of God, but you don't wanna learn about the others and incorporate the others, because God is bigger. God is a way bigger spirit than your parameter. God is way bigger than your fucking world. You better wake up the fuck now. You go outside and you look every day, you see people that look different than you see people that think and feel different than you and all that, but most of them is just like ran by the shadow garment anyways. Most of them is not even aware of their power. Most of them is not even aware that they're just fucking bots and robots and shit like that. Real fucking shit. So now we are separate spaces that connect together or become aware of each other before we even created this reality from waves to particles, before we fell into density from being free spirits and stuff like that. Because before we even fell into this density, before we even created this reality, we was already free transforming spirits, but based on us following narcissistic Abrahamic spirits and stuff like that, uh, aka their leadership, we fell into density, we fell into desires based on seeing that bright light, that promise. We're like, oh, we can do that. We can trap a bunch of spirits. We can have a bunch of people following us too. So people came down here and wanted to do that too, but it got flunked out because now it became like the Game of Thrones. Now it became people fighting for the throne. Oh, you got to kill for this way. It played out like that through all of history, down to even like there was one Turkish uh caliph and shit like that, where he made all his sons kill for the throne. So they all had to kill each other, and they all spread out across Turkey, and they had to find each other, kill each other, find creative ways. I don't know how long it took, but it's basically like that. You can see the average person do that, where it's cutthroat, where two, three, 4, 5 people might want to fight for the new manager position, and they might be cutthroat for that, fight each other, hate each other after. That's the type of world that the Masons created for us to be in. Real shit. Think about even how you know your mother and father try to force their image or their personality on you while you got your own personality or your own individual space. See, we forgot about that. We wanted to make the whole world look like us. So that's what those Jews got extremely lost in. And as a sub as a sub as a we got lost in that too, but they just did it on a way higher, way more demonic level. So we all really got lost in this dimension while we're really supposed to be free spirits. But now the problem is, now that we fell into this density, we still view each other as separate, and we don't know how to connect with each other based on us being in this separate demonic denomination point of view, and not understanding how to actually connect with other people. More importantly, you got to connect with your soul group, people who are like-minded, because a lot of the times, based on the world being ran by sheep and robots, it's gonna be kind of like a ladder, a scalar wave ladder to get out. So not everybody's gonna be able to make it out at the same time. It's like people gotta take turns and make it to the egg and all types of shit. This shit gets fucking deep. But yeah, religion is like an exoteric practice that came from esoteric shit, witchcraft constructed by elites. We're just narcissistic motherfuckers that are like, pay attention to us, pay attention to me, to trap your spirit, animating life force in their operational variables for 2,000 years. So this could be their corporations, this could be countries, because to run a country or a corporation, you need a vision. You need something for people to believe in, the company vision and stuff like that. Where some people like recycled products. Some people don't give a fuck about that. Some people like just lab made products, whatever it is that you're into. But it's all just a form of denominations, really, to just create further separation. So you can have the illusion of looking at people like they're separate, while we're really all the same thing. It's just that we all have different periodic tables. We all have different, like, mental. We're all just different. We're a cloud of thoughts and feelings for a fifth, sixth dimension. We got lost in that, and we fell into density within the third dimension and shit like that. So it's like we're trying to climb our way out because we climbed our way in type shit. And we thought that shit was cool. But it's okay, because Earth is like a spiritual experiment, right? The more we experiment, the more we experience, the more we realize what our wants and needs. And just as spirits in general, we just like to create newness, right? So whenever we have an old outdated experience, we eventually want to get out of that and create a new experience. So we just get tired of old and outdated things, because the spirit's always looking for new things to experience. So whenever you're not experiencing new things, your spirit might create some type of catastrophic situation for you to get out of what you're into, because it's looking, because your spirit be looking for like a way out. If you're looking to like experience new chemicals, by via experiencing new expansions and stuff like that. Real fucking shit. So you can't get lost in the religion, because eventually you're gonna want to get out of your religion. Eventually you're gonna leave that shit, whether it's in this lifetime or next lifetime. You're just gonna remember being ruled over, not being able to have your own thoughts and feelings, having to use someone else's thoughts and feelings, and be afraid and guilt and shamed and doubted. Like, it's all they usually use a lot of force to do it too, mental force and stuff like that. So shit gets fucking crazy. So they create practices to make you fight others, aka their wars, and make you think and feel like you need to fight someone else to make them believe and have faith, belief, and imagination behind their intellectual property or whatever religion you're from. Because Christians be trying to convince Muslims to be Christians, and Muslims try to convince Muslims to be Christians, which is just all lostness, all flunked out. It's all just a waste of time, because you're just worshiping someone else's mind, but it's not really the mind of God. They just took the 360, 12 aspects, 4 seasons, deacons, and all that shit, made a logical word about it, and then they became the face of God down here on earth. So you think, while God is really just vagueness, God is vagueness. It's like nothingness. It's like it's not something. Something came from nothing. That's what people gotta understand and shit like that. So we all be creating new things, but a lot of people forgot how to go to the seventh, eighth, ninth dimension. People forgot how to enter a gamma brainwave. People forgot how to, be vague, be open about how new thoughts and feelings. That's why a lot of people got to start learning how to take the left hand path rather than taking the right hand path. Because these Jews, a lot of the Jewish mind practices came from the East and shit like that. From the perspective of, they want you to see their ideas, aka, how the sun rises from the east. They want you to see their solar plexus, but they don't want you to create your own solar plexus. So they want you to take on their ideas. So Yahweh is really like the son of war. It's really like Aries, Taurus, where they started taking over geographical locations, conquering tribes, creating slave tribes, fighting other tribes. Like I said, it's just a big ass Game of Thrones. Who's gonna sit on top of the world, while really there's a whole better way to do this rather than just creating denominations and demons and stuff like that. Because like it gets really deep though. It gets really deep because if I'm being honest, the average person, the average spirit, if they actually had the real knowledge, the only thing they would do is just try to rule over other people, force people into their thought frames. If a motherfucker, because look, if a motherfucker can put you under their thumb, most likely they will, just based on them having some type of trauma, based on them not having a lack of power in their earlier life circumstances. So they might try to figure out, ways to be on top of you because that's really their way about that's their way of feeling good about themselves. So had this knowledge well, I don't want to say it need to be kept secret because it's not a secret. Everybody fucking knows this shit, but the average person needs to take responsibility for their own life. While it's like motherfuckers that can't even make up their own bed, don't even really. It's like if you can't even do that, how you gonna handle this type of knowledge? But it don't even got anything to do with making your own bed. But at the same time, though, if you can't even take responsibilities for that, how you gonna how you gonna pick up God's duties and responsibilities? See, it's not about you having a fucked up bed or anything like that. It's about you just having the knowing the practice, having the balance, not to get lost in one of your energies, but you also gotta know how to fight fire with fire. So now we in a circumstance, we trying to make the world more aware of what the shadow garment is doing, because the more aware the world is of what the shadow garment is doing, they can't get away with it. Okay, they can't get away with the whole, you know, jab shit that they did that was doing. People was more aware of what's actually going on. It's all types of shit that we supposed to do so we can make sure they're more aware of what's going on in this parameter because they just seeing how we react and based on our responses they decide, okay, where can we go, which direction can we go. But based on them wanting to rule the world and thinking like that's their godly duty because they don't want to leave this realm, they want to make this realm, they made this realm already their home because it's like a punk ass soul group that made this realm their home, and now they want to just fucking keep running shit and not share or nothing like that. So eventually it's just gonna get flunked out for them too, because they be really suffering behind closed doors, but see they figure out like mechanisms, technologies to alleviate these sufferings and deal with it and stuff like that. So it just gets really, really flunked out. So yeah, don't be lost in religions, don't be lost in denominations. It's all really just demonic at the end of the day. It's all really just separation. We're supposed to understand how to come together. See, when you can equalize a circumstance, when you can bring like a Muslim and a Christian together and help them understand that they both really looking at the same thing, just from different words, different the word of God. What is the word of God? The word of God is just like fucking making using your left brain to map out sigils and shit like that about God, about the parameter around you. So people can understand the process and the transitions that we did to even create reality and what's already going on around us is actually governing reality and shit like that. So yeah, don't get lost in religion. It's all denominations. It's all fucking bullshit. It's not even worth it. Expand your spirit. Real fucking shit.